Today, I want to talk about a very important topic which has probably been pushed down on our list for a long time, and I think it's a very important topic, and that is the topic of da'wah. Da'wah, which is a very broad word, but we want to talk about it from a very specific perspective. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his mission was to invite people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not invite them to Islam or invite them to the Akhirah, but invite them to Allah. And when you invite people to Allah, then obviously you are inviting them to the reward of Allah in Al-Jannah, in Al-Akhirah, and you are saying to them the path to Allah, the path that Allah has chosen is Islam. Inna ad-deena inda Allahi al-Islam. The deen that Allah has chosen with him is Islam. So no doubt when you invite people to Allah, you are going to invite them to take the path which will lead them to Allah, which is the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Now, the beautiful hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which he said that this deen of Allah is basically, it's like his feast. The feast, the table spread that he has put forward for people. And he's like sent the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to invite people to this feast. And so this is the Allah, the honorable, the noble, the rich, the self-sustainer. He's inviting you to his feast. Now in the traditions of the past, and even to this day, although maybe not as much, to respond to the request and the invitation of someone is not only obligatory in terms of the practice, but also in terms of one's status, one's duties, if you like, to respond and to come. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has invited you to come to his feast. And this is where the word da'wah comes from, because da'wah is actually an invitation to enter onto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and come to him. And it's from this perspective we understand that inviting people to Islam is part of the job of the messengers and those who have come after them. And da'wah is not a function which is targeted, meant to be something which you force on people, or something that is done in a way which is harsh, or is done in a way as if it's trying to win points or anything like that, but rather it comes from the very etiquette of the Prophet ﷺ, who he was a mercy. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. The Prophet ﷺ was sent as a mercy by Allah, and so for his da'wah, when he was inviting people, he was inviting them with mercy. He's inviting them with love, compassion, wants them to come to this feast. Come and attend. This is going to be so great for you. And trying to convince them of the great things in coming to them. Now, with time, we have maybe neglected our duty in this regards, and in some cases become diluted. A lot of the time, yes, we talk about what's known as implicit da'wah, where through your good behavior, your good morals, your good akhlaq, your good speech, your good behavior, all these things will no doubt tell people, and they will see that yes, you are, as a Muslim, a good person. Jazakallah khair, thank you very much. You won't say Jazakallah khair, we'll say thank you very much. You're such a nice person. But a nice person, anybody could be a nice person. You might be a Muslim, you might not be a Muslim. You might be someone who believes in Allah, you might be somebody who doesn't believe. All be nice, so that in itself is not getting the message. So a lot of the time you'll find some people some Muslims, Muslims who came to Islam, they will say for many years, we were interacting with Muslims, we saw how nice they were well behaved, well mannered, well this, well that, but never did any of them actually say to me, come and join us, come and become a Muslim. Never did they say that. They were always just very well behaved, very well mannered, well spoken, etc., etc. So it's very important to have an aspect where people need to know this. They need to be given that, if you like, guidance, that message to say to them, do you know that this is what's expected of you? This is the feast that Allah is inviting you to. You should try to accept His feast. You should come to His way, and etc. And all of that done in a, like I said, in a compassionate, mercy way. Because at the end of the day, the message of the Prophet ﷺ was all about winning people over. It was about saving people. It's about giving them what's good for them. The nature of the human is that they don't see what's good or bad. I mean, when I say human, it's not just we're talking about people who don't believe in Allah. But most people, even Muslims, they don't see the reality. You can't see the fire. We don't know what the fire has no real positioning in our lives, and so therefore we know the fire and we talk about the fire, but how much of us really run away from the fire with our actions, with our practices, with our day-to-day lives? How many of us really search for Al-Jannah and so on? And that's why in the hadith the Prophet ﷺ said, عَجَبًا لِلْجَنَّةِ لَا يَنَامُ طَالِبُهَا. How bewildering and wonderful is Al-Jannah. The one who seeks it does not go to sleep. وَعَجَبًا لِلنَّارِ لَا يَنَامُ هَارِبُهَا. How bewildering is the fire. The one who tries to escape it does not go to sleep, because it becomes part of their reality. So even as Muslims today, we don't see that, and that's why the Prophet ﷺ was always guiding us and telling us, do this, don't do that, this is how you need to do your Islam, etc. A beautiful hadith that sticks out to my mind as I'm mentioning this is when the Prophet ﷺ was told by his wife Hafsa about the dream that her brother saw, Abdullah ibn Umar. And Abdullah has saw a dream, and then he told his sister, and the sister told the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet said, نِعْمَ الْعَبْدُ Abdullah لو كان يصلي من الليل. What a great person, great worshipper, slave Abdullah is, if only he used to pray in the night. So it was like an encouragement from the Prophet ﷺ, saying, you're doing so many great things. The only thing is, if maybe you should pray in the night. And that came obviously the message via the Prophet's wife and Abdullah's sister. And Abdullah took that on board and he changed his behavior. His son Salim said after that Abdullah never used to sleep in the night without praying. So he took that on board and he corrected it. So that's just an example of how da'wah is meant to be a merciful invitation to aim at giving people the best in their lives, and so that they can achieve the most. Now, alhamdulillah, there are many organizations who are working